Okay, this is Calistin B. Haven't made a tutorial for a while because I've been going to the pub and playing Call of Duty. So yeah, I thought I'd make one on EQ because a lot of people struggle with this. I've made a track here just for this purpose. It's not all that, but yeah, we'll give it a listen. Okay, so why do we EQ? You can either EQ correctively or creatively. Creatively is stuff like filter sweeps, and correctively is to stop frequencies clashing, which will make your mix less muddy, make everything sound more punchy and stand out a little bit better. Okay, so we start off with the kick drum. Just solo that. Okay, so we want to see what's going on. So we double click the EQ box, and this will bring up Logic standard EQ. If you click on the analyzer and then choose the resolution and put it on high, when you press spacebar and play the kick, you'll see it come up on the graph. If you go to the far right hand side and drag the values up, you'll see more of where the frequencies dominate. Okay, so we know that this occupies the lower frequency range a lot more than the higher, so this is bound to clash with the bass. So we'll solo the sub bass and we'll repeat the process of seeing which EQs are coming up. As you can see, on the left that's a sub and on the right that's the kick. The frequencies occupy the same space, so we need to sort that out. That button is the low cut button. That value there indicates how many you're going to cut or boost by. The top one selects the frequency in hertz, and the bottom one's the Q. This determines how wide the band is. So that red section will be where all the frequencies are cut out. We know the sub goes from about 20 to 80, so we don't need that on the kick, so we'll cut that out. Likewise on the sub bass, if you look to the right of it, we do not need any of those frequencies because they do not occupy the sub frequency range. So again, we can put a high cut, put it to minus 48 decibels, and cut out all the frequencies we don't need. Anything under 30 Hz is classed as rumble, so we'll completely take that out. It's worth low cutting your whole track at 30 Hz because you do not need any of these less frequencies. Okay, next we have the snare. So we'll repeat the process again. Again, you can see that lower frequencies are occupied, but we can cut them out, and that actually makes very little difference to the snare sound, but overall tidies up the mix. A lot of instruments actually have like a dominant frequency. For example, the snare at 200 Hz is where the body comes from, so you might want to give that a little boost. Okay, next, to remove sort of frequencies that are a bit dodgy, I use this technique. I call it frequency sweeping. So we'll put a big boost and narrow the band slightly and drag it up and down. You can hear there it's really nasty, really piercing. So what we want to do is drag it downwards, which cuts out that frequency. You can adjust the Q, which is the bandwidth, to your suiting really. And likewise, if it sounds good, you can also boost it a little bit, but be careful with boosting, because if you boost too much, it ruins the headroom of the track, and it's good. Okay, so we go on to the hi-hat. Even though there's very little frequency content low down, it's worth chopping it completely out because you don't need it. Likewise, we'll do the frequency sweep technique. Large. Right, you just keep on going through your track and doing that basically, and just tweaking where it needs it really. On another note, the frequency analyzer is there just as a guide. Don't use it solely, use your ears, and if it sounds right, it's generally right. Thanks very much for watching. My next tutorial is going to be horrible bassline, so watch out for it.